Data Fellows. Welcome to one of the August Asynchronous sessions. Today's session focuses on best practices in survey administration. The learning objectives of today's session is that you will have reviewed the key considerations to make when preparing to administer a survey, and you'll be prepared to successfully administer a survey. School and district leaders frequently use surveys as an effective and efficient means to gather feedback from various stakeholder groups, including staff, parents, students, and the community. They're the best method to gather large amounts of feedback. However, surveys only provide leaders with accurate and useful information if they are designed, administered, and analyzed according to best practices. Today we'll be talking about considerations to make and best practices when administering a survey to various stakeholder groups. The first consideration we will discuss as survey administration is timing. As shared by Hanover Research, successful surveys are carefully timed so that they don't get mixed in the rush of activity that accompanies each school year. In order to time surveys to maximize the quantity and quality of responses, Hanover recommends the following: avoiding state assessment windows, extended school breaks, in the first and last 2 weeks of the school year, to keep surveys open and active for 2 to 4 weeks, and, if possible, align survey windows with staff development days to reach staff and paired events at school to reach parents. A common challenge that's experienced related to survey administration timing is the inability to reach all students due to scheduling conflicts and changes. To overcome this challenge, ask specifically about various activities and circumstances that could impact student attendance, such as earlier release days, planned fire drills, field trips, and account for those when setting the dates and times for survey administration. A useful tool that you can use while making scheduling decisions is the checklist for scheduling data collection activities linked in the slide notes. The second consideration to make when planning for survey administration is the survey platform to be utilized. It's imperative that all stakeholder groups have an equal opportunity to respond to the survey on an accessible platform. Hanover Research recommends the following: administer surveys online to maximize accessibility, to reduce potential data entry errors, and to allow for multi-year comparisons. Surveys should also be accessible via mobile devices. While families may not have a desktop computer at home, they're more likely to have a mobile device. There are two main options for distributing online surveys: open links or trackable links. Open links are accessible to anyone with the survey link. It's important that these surveys include screening questions at the start to capture those who are not part of the target survey population. For example, if the survey is to parents of students attending a specific school, you will want to include a screener question asking whether they have a student currently enrolled at the school. The pros of an open link survey is that they can be posted in public forums such as websites or newsletters. They can be completed by respondents without accessing an email, so it's easier for administering right at school sites, and that they ensure respondents' anonymity. However, the cons of an open link survey are that they do not allow for targeted survey reminders to be sent to those who have not completed the survey. This is because we are not able to identify who specifically completed the questionnaire. You also have to rely on self-reported demographic data, as you're not able to link the survey respondents to additional data sources. And lastly, they're vulnerable to multiple responses per individual. Another option for distributing online surveys are using trackable links. In this case, links are sent to a unique survey link to a pre-selected contact list of targeted respondents. The pros of a targeted link include they allow for targeted survey reminders to those who have not completed the survey. They allow for the connection to known demographic data from other sources. And they ensure one survey response per individual. However, the cons to a trackable link are that they can only be shared with individuals with known email addresses. They cannot be posted in public forums, such as websites or newsletters, and they're vulnerable to compromising respondents' anonymity. The method of distributing online surveys will vary by survey and situation. It's important to consider both options, and then, based on the information needs and target audience, determine the best method. The third consideration when planning to administer a survey is the outreach strategy used to promote the administration and completion of the survey. A successful outreach strategy is carefully planned to account for the topic of the survey, the sensitivity of the survey questions, and the needs of the target survey populations. Strategies for specific stakeholder groups are outlined in the next slides. When planning to administer a survey to students, a strategy recommended by Hanover Research is to designate time during school, for example, during homeroom or during all English language arts classes, for students to take the survey. Computer labs or laptop carts should be used as necessary. When planning to administer a survey to parents and guardians, Hanover Research recommends the following strategies. Offer the survey in multiple languages. Advertise the survey through existing communication channels, such as school and district websites, parent newsletters, school social media, and principal communications. Partner with local organizations to advertise the survey, especially those that work with hard-to-reach populations. Mail a letter to parents communicating the importance of the survey and requesting their participation. You can also include a QR code for respondents to access the survey through their smartphones. Provide opportunities for parents to take the survey at the school, such as setting up a computer in the front library or lobby. You can also coordinate survey administration with events that bring parents into school, such as parent-teacher conferences, and encourage parents to take the survey on computers set up during those events. When planning to administer a survey to staff, Hanover Research recommends the following strategies. Have principals send an email to their staff communicating the importance of the survey and requesting their participation. Ask principals to set aside time in staff meetings to complete the survey. Send regular response updates to principals with a number of staff members from each school who have completed the survey. Ask principals to consider incentives, such as free food at a staff meeting if more than a certain percentage of staff complete the survey. The fourth consideration when planning to administer a survey is the use of reminders. Regular and targeted survey reminders are crucial for survey success. Hanover Research recommends the following strategies. Clearly communicate the survey closing date. If using a trackable survey link, send targeted reminders to those who have not completed the survey. Leave the survey open for 2 to 4 weeks and send reminders on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays for maximum response rates. The fifth consideration when planning to administer a survey are the consent procedures and documents used. A frequent challenge experienced by survey administrators and respondents is the lack of clear understanding and proper use of parental permission procedures, which ultimately decreases participation rates. An example of this is that an opt-out form is viewed as an opt-in form, so a parent signs thinking that their child will participate. A recommendation to address this challenge is to provide more detailed information up front to both the survey administration team and respondents, including parents, and to clearly label your documents. For example, instead of labeling as a consent form, label as an opt-in or opt-out form. Further, additional teacher training is needed to ensure teachers understand that passive parental permission forms are not required to allow students to take the survey, but instead prohibit participation. The sixth and final consideration to make when planning to administer a survey is teacher training. A common challenge that is experienced when administering surveys in schools is the improper administration of the survey. A common example is that the survey is not self-administered by the student, and instead, a teacher assists the student in completing. A recommendation to overcome this challenge is to clarify the training requirements and reiterate why the administration procedures exist. So, in this example, discussing why adults should not read surveys to students, and to provide specific examples of situations in which teachers might be tempted to, but should not, read the surveys to students. Another common challenge that can be overcome with proper teacher training is that teachers fail to administer a survey. To overcome this challenge, provide an online archived version of the training for teachers or staff who are not able to attend the initial training. It's also helpful to train additional district or school staff or external data collectors, depending on protocol restrictions, to serve as backup proctors. You should also remind staff of the survey a couple days in advance. That concludes the August asynchronous session on best practices in administering surveys. As a reminder of what's coming up in September, we have everything presented here. So the September case study part 1 will be on Tuesday, September 5th, with the step-by-step instructions shared the next day. Our first office hours of the month will also be that Wednesday. Our second September case study, which again, these are the synchronous sessions, will be on Tuesday, September 9th, with the step-by-step instruction shared the following Wednesday, as well as the second office hours being held on that Wednesday. And then lastly, we'll have our September community of practice on Wednesday, September 27th. Thank you for listening to today's asynchronous session. Please remember to complete the exit ticket, as this documents that you completed the asynchronous session and provides us with important feedback. Thank you.